I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the EMS program and the courting ceremony that you all are witnessing here. That was led by Carol White, who is now recently retired as the Director of EMS Education. She's been a mentor to me and has led this program for many years. Today we celebrate the achievements of our students who have chosen to become paramedics. They've undergone a rigorous curriculum that includes extensive classroom learning, practical skills training, and clinical rotations. They've spent countless hours studying, practicing, and honing their craft to become skilled and compassionate paramedics. Today, we recognize and celebrate their dedication and commitment to this noble profession. To our students, I want to express my deepest admiration and congratulations. You have overcome numerous challenges and you have shown great resilience, strength, and commitment. Your hard work and dedication have brought you to this moment, and you should be proud of your accomplishments. You are joining a proud and noble profession, and we are confident that you will make a significant impact on the lives of your patients and your communities. To the families of our students, I want to express my deepest gratitude for your faith in Barton Community College. We recognize the sacrifice and support that you have given to your loved ones throughout their educational journey. We have been there to offer words, and you have been there to offer words of encouragement, lend a listening ear, and provide the support and love that are needed to succeed. Without your dedication and sacrifice, our students would not have achieved their level of success. I would also like to thank our EMS staff and administrators for their attendance. Your support and guidance have been instrumental in creating a high-quality educational experience for our students. You have been provided the knowledge, skills, and guidance necessary for our students to become outstanding paramedics. Your mentorship and guidance have been invaluable, and we are grateful for all that you do and have done to help our students succeed. Now, in 2016, 7 years ago, almost this day, sitting right there, waiting for the moment that you all are waiting for. It was a nexus event in my life, as it will be in yours. And what I want you guys to remember is, as you have completed this mountain and you continue on, remember where you have been, focus on where you're going, and remember, even on the worst days, smile. Hold the hands of the people you are taking care of, and always be there for those who are in need of comfort. I want to congratulate the students once again on this remarkable achievement. You've worked hard to get here. You should be proud of all that you have accomplished. We are honored to have been part of your educational journey, and we wish you the best in your future endeavors. At this point, I'd like to take a moment to thank our administrators that have been with us today. Chris Baker, our Executive Director of Healthcare and Public Service Education, Dr. Kathy Kotis, our Dean of Workforce Training and Community Education, Elaine Simmons, Vice President of Instruction, and Angie Matty, Vice President of Student Affairs, Vice President of Finance and Administration, Mark Dean, and am I missing anybody? Oh, no. President Dr. Carl Heilman, thank you for being with us today, and we appreciate you taking this time. Our staff up here with us today, Lead Paramedic Instructor Dean Dexter, EMS Program Specialist Jennifer Ladd, and then Andrew Hartzell, our Clinical Coordinator, cannot be with us today. With that, I am going to turn it over to our student speaker, Aaron Brocksterman.
Thank you, Nick. Good afternoon. It is an honor to be up here today speaking to you all. My name is Aaron, or Andrew, depending on the day, Dean. I'm not sure how I was chosen to be the one to address my fellow classmates, families, friends, and faculty, but here I am, so let's give this a shot, but not the same type of shot that someone tried to give themselves during class. Colby. For starters, I want to thank all of our families and friends for all the support and sacrifices they made for over the last 16 months. If it wasn't for the support of family and friends, I'm not sure if we all would have been successful in completing this program. And to all the lab assistants that had spent countless hours helping us all learn to be the best providers we can be, I want to say thank you. And to Dean, thank you for all this time spent dealing with us and our shenanigans. We all can't thank you enough for taking us on wild calls to Billy Bob's Drink Like a Fish Club / daycare / dance club / curl up and die hair salon / nursing home. On behalf of your favorite Thursday class, I would like to say thank you and wish you a happy retirement. We have a small present for you here. It won't bite. So Dean's favorite saying during class to, I think, every single one of us, multiple occasions on multiple hours of the day was, stop. Or, I'm going to go and stop you there, or go ahead and just start over. So we have a stop sign here for him to hang up in his house. Going forward, we will face many difficult challenges in our future careers. To help put the odds in our favor, let me share with you the 5 things we need to start today and continue every day so we can be successful in our career. Number 1, remain good at our job. I'm talking about our core skills. Continue to work on them. As fresh as everything is to us right now, this may sound ridiculous. As we move through the career, we will learn that much of what we have learned in the classroom and on the street will be outdated before we ever get a chance to use it. Every day, we have to work to refine our knowledge, skills, and effective attitudes. Don't be like Medic Zero. Continue to practice our fundamentals and update them as new tools and new techniques are developed. As always, remember, you are smarter than the data suggests. Number 2, protect yourself first. Yes, with our graduation, we gain new skills and responsibilities, as well as an obligation to use them to aid others in their time of crisis. But our first responsibility to the people we serve and to the people who love us is to ensure that you are taking care of yourself. I'm not just talking about scene safe, BSI, do you see any hazards, are there any cats in sight? I'm more worried about the threats you don't realize are causing you pain until the damage is done. Eat right, exercise, and sleep well, even though I never knew that was a real thing in EMS. Take care of yourself physically and mentally. Always stay hydrated. Eat a ham sandwich. Just like sharpening our assessment skills, these are things are easy to say, but take real purposeful effort to actually do. The difference is that if you don't work on your assessment, you're only hurting your patients. If you neglect working on yourself, you're hurting you, your colleagues, and your friends and family, and everyone around you. Number 3, be a great follower. Pick someone with knowledge, skills, and attitudes you admire and emulate those skills. You may be lucky enough to personally know someone you admire and have them become your mentor, guide your path. If you do, be sure to return the favor to some new EMT or paramedic when they graduate. If you find no mentor available to you, we're not going to hold that against you. Decide on traits your ideal EMS clinician would exemplify and be that person. Not every senior person you work with will be a great partner. Not every boss you work for will be a great leader. Even if you were not a top performer in class, you know who you are. If you strive to follow a great role model, whether real or idolized, then bit by bit, every one of you will find yourself becoming a better clinician, a great partner, and maybe one day a role model yourself. As T.D. Jakes once said, if you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion, for passion will lead you right into your purpose. Number 4, always be an advocate. Be an advocate for your patient. Be an advocate for yourself. Be an advocate for your colleagues. Be an advocate for your profession. We now have a responsibility not only to the citizens we protect, but we have a responsibility to our brother and sister professionals, including firefighters, as well as to the profession itself. Advocate for your profession. Don't rely on the voices of others to protect us and lift us up. Number 5, know the most important part of your job. By now, we have probably heard someone say that what we do is a matter of life and death. By now, we probably also know that most of our job will not actually involve life and death circumstances. Not every call we go on will be an emergency. While that's true, that's not where I'm going with this. Rarely in the course of our duties will we have the opportunity to save a life. However, on every call for service, from routine medical transport to emergency critical care, we will have the opportunity to make life better for our patient and probably their family, friends, and bystanders. Often, it will be difficult and it will almost never be recognized. But now that we have graduated, we need to know that this is the most important part of our job, because by doing it, we make the world a better place. So let's enjoy our well-earned accomplishments at this time of graduation. We deserve the praise. We have worked hard, most of us. I hope we all can take at least a small break now that we are done. I feel we have earned it. But when you're ready to take on the task at hand, now we know what we need to do. Keep our skills sharp and up to date. Protect and take care of yourself. Seek out good examples and follow them. Advocate for your colleagues and for your profession. And each day, every day, seek out every opportunity to make the world a better place. Be the paramedic you'd want to show up to take care of your family members. Do your best, for someday you will be someone's hero. I want to conclude by saying I am so thankful for being part of this graduating paramedic class. We have all come so far from day one, and I would be honored to have any one of you take care of my loved ones. Congratulations, class of 2023. We did it. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron, or Andrew, for that wonderful, wonderful speech. Our next guest speaker today serves as the Training Program Manager and State Training Officer for the Kansas Division of Emergency Management. Having retired as Chief of Newton Fire and EMS after a 32-year career in 2016, he served as Education and Credentialing Manager for the Kansas Board of EMS before coming to KDEMM in January 2018. Mark began his career with Newton Fire and EMS in 1985 after having served as a volunteer firefighter EMT for 3 years. He became a certified paramedic in 1988 and a certified paramedic instructor coordinator in 1996. In addition to providing fire, rescue, EMS training, he has also served as an adjunct instructor for Hutchinson Community College initial EMS training programs. He has served as a firefighter paramedic, flight paramedic, tactical medic, in addition to serving in command roles on regional technical rescue and major incident response groups for fire rescue EMS teams, as well as the South Central Incident Management Team. Mark has served as strong advocate for the EMS profession and was a charter member of the Kansas Emergency Medical Services Association, serving on the board of directors in numerous positions throughout his EMS career. In addition, he was a longtime member of the Kansas EMS Region 3 Board of Directors and the Barton Community College EMS Advisory Board. Please welcome Mark Willis.
Congratulations. Thanks for the privilege to be here today. Nick's predecessor, Carol White, is a dear friend and colleague of mine whom I've known a really long time. We first got to know each other clear back when we were both on shift. She was with Reno County EMS, and she was and is an outstanding and highly respected paramedic, tough as nails and cool under pressure. We worked some great scenes together when I was working on the helicopter out of the Hutchinson base. But probably our most important relationship was through her tenure as Barton's EMS Education Program Director. She built it up from very humble beginnings, and I assure you, Barton has developed a very strong reputation as an institution who does a good job of producing high-quality EMS providers. It was almost 2 years ago that she asked me if I would provide the last keynote address to her last graduating class, and I didn't hesitate. When circumstances forced her to focus on what's most important, her family, I understood and shredded what was about a 1-hour speech that brought tears to my own eyes. To my surprise, her successor, Nick, in recognition and honor of Carol's request, asked me to go ahead and speak anyway. My new and improved speech is much shorter, which I'm sure won't cause any tears, but nevertheless, I cannot express what an honor it is to be before you. So I started out in 1983, so this platinum blonde hair does not betray the fact I've been around for a while. In fact, the department from which I retired, Newton Fire EMS, was the first EMS in Kansas to offer paramedic level care beginning in 1973. I really could spend an hour talking about the tremendous evolution of pre-hospital care since those early beginnings. It's said that medicine is a blend of art and science as technology and standards of care constantly change and evolve. But I can guarantee you today's paramedic graduates are much more capable than I was as a newly minted paramedic in 1988. Higher educational standards, more structured clinical and field internship experiences, and active involvement of the medical community in ensuring that EMS systems are adhering to evidence-based medicine based on national standards and under the close scrutiny of physician medical directors has vastly improved out-of-hospital care since those very humble beginnings. Well, enough about history. Let's talk about your future. Congratulations, this day has finally come, and it is a cause and accomplishment worth celebrating. You've been exposed to a whole lot of information in a relatively short period of time. It has meant a lot of long hours and intense study and preparation. Your performances and actions have been evaluated in every imaginable, contrived, and actual situation. The consequences of mistakes, be it medication errors, missed assessments, or even misdiagnosis, have been hammered home. Your instructors, your clinical supervisors, the medical professionals whom you've worked under have expected, demanded excellence from you at every juncture. You've worked hard to earn the right to be here today, but I hope you take the time to thank those who helped you along the way. I was 21 years old and single when I was going through paramedic school, but it was still tough. We had to trade time on our duty days to attend class, do our field and clinical internships on our days off. I was barefoot, the snow was deep, it was a long uphill walk. No, I digress. But I did have classmates that already had families, and I only came to really appreciate how difficult that must have been once I had had a family of my own. Graduates, I want you to join me in recognizing and thanking your support group, your spouse or significant other, your kids, your parents and grandparents, your friends and relatives, who all played a role in your success today. Thank you. Now, I know it's going to sound cliche, but I want you to recognize that this is only the beginning of your education. I encourage you to be lifelong learners in this profession as science and technology are moving at lightning speed, and medical protocols and practices, pharmacology, diagnostic tools will continue to change and evolve. Experience is valuable, but only when it contributes to a higher level of confidence enhanced by a willingness to learn and understand. Now, unfortunately, with me coming from a fire-based EMS system, sometimes the people who boasted most about their years of experience were usually the ones who didn't have a whole lot else to establish their credibility. One of our favorite sayings was, you can have 20 years of experience, or you can have 1 year of experience 20 times. Things change, and we must be willing to accept and embrace it. Please recognize the skills for which you have been trained today are perishable. So continued practice and proficiency, be it on real patients or contrived, is invaluable. I'll use myself as an example. Now, here's a chance for you to wow your friends and family here. What do we tell a patient right before we start an IV? You're going to feel a stick, right? So once I got into admin and wasn't having near as many patient contacts on those rare occasions when I was like the last medic out and we were really busy and I needed to start an IV on a patient, I'd usually say, now you're going to feel a series of sticks. So your future awaits you, and I'm sure you're all excited and anticipating what your EMS career will look like. I'm very proud of the fact that I retired with the same feeling I had when I started, that it was an absolute privilege to be able to serve others in times of need. I was humbled that patients and their families entrusted us to do what is needed to help those we are able to serve. I'm excited for you all. These are exciting times for EMS, and the need for you has never been greater. Now, I could drone on and on about what your future career looks like, but that's really up to you. Instead, I want to talk about what it looks like when an EMS career ends prematurely. Wah, wah, wah. Unfortunately, you see a lot of EMS careers end prematurely. I've seen paramedics self-destruct, most often due to the choices they've made in dealing with the stresses and pressures that come along with those privileged responsibilities inherent to our profession. I won't be citing any studies about burnout, PTSD, drug, alcohol abuse, or suicidal ideations. I'm not an expert on any of these areas, but when you stay in the business as long as I have, you see a lot of common themes in those paramedics who become disenchanted, disenfranchised, whatever you want to call it, and leave, voluntarily or involuntarily, way before they'd envisioned the day they graduated. I've distilled these common themes into 5 generic statements often overheard from those paramedics who leave the profession, and I want to offer my insights as to the basis of these statements, as well as some strategies and solutions for you to overcome these perceptions. I should state that these insights have been corroborated with peers, not only from across Kansas, but as well as nationally during my many opportunities to interact with them through our professional associations and conferences. That first common statement we'd hear, it's not what I thought it would be. Now, Aaron, you did a really good job of spelling out exactly what I was going to mention here, but I'm going to say it anyhow since I've got it written down, okay? It's not what I thought it would be is probably the most common theme from those who leave early. Throughout their training, they're constantly placed into life or death situations and contrived scenarios and somehow come away thinking the opportunity to save lives is just another day on the job. Although we certainly are presented with situations in which our actions can very well mean the difference between life and death, they are rare and not easily measured. I encourage you to adopt a mindset that you're here to make a positive difference in the patient's situation. Saving someone's life is a very subjective term, and we always need to recognize the vast majority of calls are for help. Sometimes with people who are having the worst day or crisis of their lives, but what one person defines as a life-threatening emergency may just be called Tuesday by someone else. Don't disqualify the patient or their family with your qualifications. You've been called because someone is facing something they may interpret as life-threatening, or they just simply don't know what else to do. The second common statement is nobody respects me, or nobody respects us. If you want to be respected, show respect to others. Too often in EMS, I have observed EMS providers who think that nobody understands what they do or how bad it would be if it weren't for them. This often manifests itself in an us versus them mindset with other first responders and allied healthcare providers. It's a very unhealthy mindset. Remember, EMS is but one cog in the public safety and healthcare systems. We rely on the other providers, the physicians, the mid-levels, the nurses, the lab and radiology techs, the law enforcement officers. The list goes on, and we should respect their roles and responsibilities as much as our own. Take time to show respect to them. You'll probably learn something. Take time to learn their names. Establish a professional rapport and show them respect, and I guarantee it'll be returned. It's not a competition. The third common theme is I'm burned out. It is true that some people get into the profession and determine this is not really what they wanted to do. When they're unwilling to admit it to themselves, they often cite burnout. The funny thing is, I've heard paramedics talk about being burned out who only run 200 calls a year. And yet I know and have worked with paramedics from systems where they're personally running over 1,000 calls a year and are happy and content with being in a busy urban system. They like the action. The mindset is the difference. If you're really feeling burned out, be honest with yourself, but don't blame the profession. Happiness and personal satisfaction come from within. And although I'm not stating this clinically, it's my belief that those who want to find fault in the profession or their employer are just not being honest with themselves. Maybe they need to get more confidence in themselves through better training. Maybe they need to address personal stresses that are bleeding over into their professional performance. Or maybe it's time to evaluate other careers. Maybe it's time to look at working in a different service. Just own the situation and take the steps necessary to be happy. The only thing worse than being unhappy with your career choice is being someone who has to work with someone that's unhappy with their career choice. The fourth, I've got PTSD, which, as you know, is an acronym for post-traumatic stress disorder. I need to first disclose I'm not a clinician, and I do not intend to discount the fact that there are indeed those who suffer from PTSD. It's real, and there are real professionals capable of recognizing and in some instances treating PTSD. But unfortunately, I'm of the opinion this has become a catch-all diagnosis by non-professionals who aren't really qualified to make such a diagnostic statement. The fact is, you will be working in a high-stress environment and will be exposed to horrible situations, oftentimes resulting in death, dismemberment, disability to really good people who had a really bad day, often through no fault of their own. I personally have seen a small cemetery's worth of people who have been killed or died in horrific situations. I've seen the shock and the grief brought on upon the loved ones who survived or were left behind. To this day, I can't drive down US 50 highway between Hutchinson and Marion County without recalling fatality accidents which occurred at this intersection or that, or drive by a house where we once pulled 3 dead children from a raging inferno. The list goes on, but I have the memories. But I recognize these memories are natural. They can't be put away to never be recalled. I rely upon the foundation of my family, my faith, my friends, my coworkers, who love and support me through times good and bad. And I don't rely upon drugs or alcohol to make those memories go away. Most importantly, I understand I was called upon to do the best I could to help the situation, and I also understand there are some things that are beyond our control or understanding. By all means, if you think you need help in dealing with a situation or your feelings, seek out help. Just make sure it's the right kind. And fifth and final, nobody understands what we do. Because of these aforementioned stresses and pressures, it's often easy to begin thinking nobody else deals with the stresses and pressures we face as paramedics. The fact is, you are among friends who do understand, and I encourage you to become active in the professional associations and activities. Get to know the folks from your neighboring EMS. Attend EMS regional council meetings. Join KIMSA. Get out there and network, but make new friends and begin to understand we're all in this together. I have developed lifelong friendships with peers from my time as a member of the Kansas EMS Association, the Regional EMS Council, from being on Barton's EMS Advisory Committee. You'll find out you're not alone, that your system is no better or worse than anyone else's, and you'll understand that every EMS, no matter how large or how small, shares the same common challenges. But you'll also meet some really smart people who may very well have solutions or ideas for situations which you or your service are dealing with today. Most importantly, make sure your family remains a part of your peer network. They don't need to know the details of every facet of your job, but they care about you and they want you to be happy and successful. Don't tune them out because you've determined that they don't understand. So it's my hope that sharing this information better prepares you for the future that lays ahead. At the end of the day, we're all looking to make a positive difference. You have chosen a career which affords you the opportunity to serve those in need, to make a difference, to matter. So I'm going to wrap this up by singing a little song. Not really. Even my own mom told me once I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. So, next thing I did was I invited my good friend Tim McGraw to come sing for us, but I didn't have the pull for that. But I'm going to leave you with a couple of stanzas from one of his songs that I always found to be meaningful and relevant as to what I hope you'll strive for as a paramedic. When those dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. Don't take for granted the love this life gives you. When you get where you're going, don't forget, turn back around and help the next one in line. Always stay humble and kind. Barton Community College graduating class of 2023, I extend my sincere congratulations to each of you and wish you a meaningful and fulfilling career. Thank you.
All right, class, now the moment you all have been waiting for. It's time to honor all the effort you have expended in order to earn that gold patch. It's time to honor you with only the cord given to medical professionals. I will call your names and you may come up to receive your cord. At this time, Dean's going to be awarding you with your cords. Aaron Brocksterman, Riley County EMS. Bobby Dillon, Sabetha EMS. Brianna Drinkwater, AMR. Colby Easom, Jefferson County EMS. Megan Royer, AMR. Tristan Satterwhite, AMR. Joshua Schwanke, Pottawatomie County EMS. Bristol Swan, AMR. Brian Thiessen, Dickinson County EMS. And last but not least, Anna Truesdale, AMR. Congratulations to Topeka Paramedic graduating class of 2023. Thank you all for joining us today and celebrating the accomplishments of our paramedic students. Graduates, you and your instructor get to go over and take pictures now. The rest of us, we got to go eat. That's it. Thanks for coming, everybody.